everyone. Welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News editor Kate Nagel. I'm so glad to have Ronen Siman TOV here in the studio with us today.
Pleased to be here.
From Israel.
Yeah.
Came over. There's going to be a big conference tomorrow at Salve Regina. Now, you are the Chief Technology Officer with IBM, the Alpha Zone Accelerator.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about IBM and your experience there, but I want to talk about this conference tomorrow.
Okay.
It's going to be at Salve Regina, focusing on Bitcoins, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. You might have seen Bitcoin on the news a lot recently. We actually had a piece up today by Mike Riley. So tell us, what exactly is this conference going to entail, and what are you going to be sharing with people tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we'll talk about blockchain. I will give the information about the buzz around blockchain and some concepts, how it is relevant to business. And I'll talk about what IBM is doing in this field, and what are we doing in the accelerator, and how we open it for the enterprise.
So tell folks, you might have heard of Bitcoin, I've heard of Bitcoin, but explain exactly what blockchain is.
Blockchain is a shared ledger that is shared between participants across the network. And the specific blockchain network that I will talk about is Hyperledger. It's a permission ledger, so all the participants are identified on the network. And it's relevant for business, so you can find partners like banks, regulators in your network doing interesting work.
And you say it's a ledger, so it's a resource for folks to know what's
it's a
out
system.
there.
It's a system of records of your organization, and it's replicated between the participants on the network, so they can share the same view of that ledger. So it's transparent, you can trust it, and you don't need intermediators.
Okay, so again, we're going all digital here, but let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin as well. So a lot of folks might think of it as this internet currency, but here we are today. You know, what should folks know about Bitcoin as we're here?
It's booming. Let's start. When I prepared my speech, it was $8,000. Now it is going up. It is almost $10,000 per coin. It's unregulated coin. It's private invented coin, but it's really interesting. Some countries adopted it and recognized it. Others not. Future will tell where it will go.
You say the future will tell. We're here in 2017. Where do you think it will go? I mean, will the unregulated market really dictate its future?
I think so. Look at two states, interesting states like Estonia and Dubai. They actually took blockchain to the next level, and you could see topics that were regulated until now becoming open to the public, and now you get services like e-tax on blockchain. You get the capability to handle and manage your own healthcare records, and you can do voting, and you can even have in Estonia an ID, a digital ID that will enable you to open a bank account as a foreigner and do businesses in Estonia. So you can do many things on blockchain, and specifically to Bitcoin, you can pay with Bitcoin in some places. And there was a very interesting show about the future of money and how you can manage without having any cash in your wallet. And you can do it with Bitcoin.
So it's going to be very interesting, I'm sure, the conference tomorrow. Who do you expect to be in the audience? I mean, who's really going to get the most out of this conference, hearing from all of these experts tomorrow?
Everyone. You could see entrepreneurs, you could see partners, you could see academia, you could see government, you could see people coming from the Navy. Everyone will be there.
Everyone will be there. You literally just flew in from Israel. How long are you going to stay for?
3 days.
3 days. So apart from the conference, what else are you going to be doing around here in Rhode Island?
Meeting. We just returned from a meeting in Brown University, and we are meeting lots of folks around here.
Can you give us a little insights? What you talk with about Brown, or is it top secret?
No, they are investigating blockchain. They are interesting. They are doing interesting stuff on blockchain. And we discussed what could be the opportunities for innovation and the ecosystem of entrepreneurs and academia and people coming from the industry to do interesting stuff together.
So speaking of the industry, your work with IBM, when you're not traveling around speaking with conferences around the world, tell us about your work with IBM in that accelerator capacity.
So we initiated the idea of having an accelerator in Israel, and the idea was to do something interesting with the ecosystem, to open the IBM gate for entrepreneurs in Israel, to do joint value proposition with IBM, to help. Our idea was to help the entrepreneurs create solutions that will target tier 1 and tier 2 type of customers,
Okay.
organizations. And we help them open the architecture and help them create new type of architecture that will address this challenge. And then when they started doing that, the integration, we defined with them a go-to-market strategy to take them to the market with IBM via IBM channels worldwide. That was the idea. And why we started it in Israel, because Israel is a small place. All the companies that work in Israel, they are with the face to the world. And IBM is a big partner that can help them do that.
So you're here in Rhode Island, you're helping those businesses with the accelerator. What's next?
Well, I just returned from China, and I mentored a Chinese startup in the field of healthcare for a month, and I did it pro bono. It was interesting, understanding the Chinese culture, the innovation culture in China, now understanding the the culture in Rhode Island, and maybe do some interesting stuff with Israel.
Is there really now, I mean, we've known about this, just the world just so getting smaller, just that capacity for cross collaboration, especially when you don't, you're here and you can connect in person, but the ability to be able to learn and grow through online channels.
Yeah, there are lots of possibilities. The globalization is everywhere, but there are places that keep their own culture, and sometimes you still have the cultural shock, like I did have in China. Here, I'm feeling more like at home, and social media helping entrepreneurs and businesses and enterprises doing business together. So I think there is a big promise.
So you talked a little bit about Dubai and Estonia utilizing sort of this blockchain technology. So it clearly has ability to impact government, yes?
Yep.
Do you think that this is something that we'll see take off here in the US?
Government are really interested in this technology because it enabled them to take part of this interesting initiative in a good way. Because there are some good things about a partner like a government that is part of your network.
Well, they have usually have a lot of money.
They have a lot of money, but they can help with the anti-money laundering, and in food safety they could prevent food coming from the black market, unregulated. So sometimes it's good to have the government part of this new initiative.
So you were in China. Here you're going to be in Newport for the Salve conference tomorrow. We'll have more information. I do believe, I heard there might be some more space if people are interested. We'll confirm that and we'll let you know, because we're going to have links up to that as well. But just was so curious, what are you interested to learn tomorrow? Do you know where the other speakers are there? What are you looking forward to?
Connections. I want to understand what is the culture of innovation here, to understand what are the challenges of the partners here, and how to can we create new opportunities together.
So it's interesting you talk about Israel being on that scale. Rhode Island, obviously, within the country is on that small scale. We're always talking about ways to look at this. But Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptocurrency, all these buzzwords that a lot of folks, if they're not in that field, might not know much about. So for that average person, so that lay person who's not in business, sees the headlines with Bitcoin or with blockchain, what should they be looking to kind of keep an eye on?
When you talk about blockchain for the enterprise, it's all about trust, building trust in the network. This is something that it's a takeaway from the discussion. When you talk about Bitcoin, it's anonymized network, so it's more about uncensored type of network that you can manage your own stuff, anonymized, anonymity. That's what they.
Do you
Should
think
be.
we'll be able to start buying stuff? Will I be starting to buy stuff with Bitcoin?
You can right now. You can.
Let me start my Bitcoin account over here, but wanted to bring you in again. This is the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative is partnering with Salve Regina for the conference tomorrow. Very innovative discussions will be taking place. Anything else you want to share with viewers here? Israel, China. We've got the window to the world.
I think it's opportunities for the entrepreneurs here in Rhode Island to come and join us tomorrow. So if you are around, come and join us in the RIIC, the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative, and we'll be happy to see you there.
Well, I want to thank the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative for making this interview happen. Basically, I was told this morning, we've got you right here in the studio to come with us. So I think that probably just about takes up what I have for questions, Ronen. So again, I appreciate you taking the time to come in.
Thank you so much.
I wish you a great trip here in Rhode Island.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll talk moving forward if I have any blockchain, Bitcoin, or cryptocurrency questions.
Do that.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Ronen Siman TOV came in today from Israel for a big conference taking place at Salve Regina tomorrow in collaboration with the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative, talking about blockchain, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency. Talking with Ronen a little bit about blockchain, again, his expertise with the IBM accelerator out in Israel. Again, you hear a lot about this in the news, but they are breaking it down for folks. I believe there's more room in the conference tomorrow. We'll provide all that info for you as well. So it's always a pleasure being able to welcome experts. Jennifer Lawless in DC, Clara Go from Providence College about community and interaction with students in the city, and then Ronen from Israel. We appreciate everyone coming here into the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center to bring you the best of news and politics. That just about wraps up another day here downtown in Providence. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, The Taste with Rick Simone. I'll be back at the 4 o'clock hour with news and politics, so we look forward to seeing you back here in studio. As always, we appreciate your watching, we appreciate your feedback, we appreciate your support. We'll see you here tomorrow. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel.